Am I here now? Just waiting to see if anyone's over here. You see me? Okay. I had to just change the broadcast. Perfect. Okay. So I just got to get. Okay. I'm having a lot of problems. I'm having a lot of problems. Okay. Just let me see. We are still looking for Catherine is not over here yet, I don't think. I know she was first one on the last live, so just want to make sure. Just trying to make sure that I got perfect. Okay. Just trying to get Catherine over because Catherine was just on here and I lost her as well. And I know she wanted to be here, so I want to make sure I have her again. I'm just putting a post on that other one. Okay. So I want to tell everybody about what happened yesterday. Crazy yesterday. So yesterday I finished the cards. I went through each and every card. I have gone through the all 45 cards of my deck of Oracle cards. We have a whole new design again now. As of last night, we've redesigned again. Yes, at least it's Friday, but I am working all weekend, so don't get many days off in this business. And so I don't know where my live just went. I hope I'm still up, guys, because I'm not seeing it on my phone. So yesterday when I was finished, so it was the miracle card, the She Is, which is the representation of the Divine Mother, the Mother Mary, that type of thing. So when I was finished yesterday, and it was my daughter's birthday, the day I gave birth to my daughter 25 years prior. So when I was finished, I went to go in to check my YouTube because every single day I got this scammer on there as well that keeps posting pornography on every one of my videos. And it's a link and people push on the link. Don't ever push on a link that comes up on my YouTube. It is pornography. I have to, as soon as I'm finished here, I always have to go in and I have to check both and I have to watch that one and then I have to get that one deleted. Well, while I was on YouTube, this video popped up instantly for me to watch. And it was a Mother Mary video. And it was March the 18th, a image of Mother Mary had appeared to this, I don't know if she was a sister or like a church follower or something. And Mother Mary appeared and said she would appear to her every single year until she passed. So this was 40 years ago. So yesterday, March the 18th, is a sacred day of the appearance of Mother Mary appearing. Now, I'm not so much into reading all this stuff often, so I never know any of this stuff. I really don't even follow anybody. I don't read a lot of I just don't have a lot of that stuff because I always say I can't contaminate the wisdom that comes through. I have to allow it to come. But when I seen that, I'm like, holy crap. Like, you just truly cannot make up that magical experience. I can't turn off the comments on my YouTube because then it drives down your being able to get your YouTube video spreading. There's a whole lot of reasons why comments are so important on YouTube and on Facebook. If you're just watching with it, it's not near as important. But when you're trying to build up your following and you're trying to get your subscribers up, because we can't even use our PayPal links on YouTube and those places until you got your subscribers up. So there's a whole lot of business stuff that ties into all of these things, even Instagram. I can't share my business links on Instagram until there's 10,000 followers. It's crazy. So everything, I can't make this page official, like with the little blue check, until there is 10,000 followers. I know. And they have all the business stuff. Yeah, it sucks. So we're constantly, constantly work. Oh, thanks. I'll go look after. um, and so yesterday when that happened and this Mother Mary, video appeared, and the power of, she was every year until this year, this is the last year on even March the 2nd that this Mother Mary comes through with this message. But every year until this woman passed, you'll see her. But this is the last year that she would come through with these messages. And I'm like, this is how magical this world is. And this is how magical things are in this world, that I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know any of this, like how this ended up being I mean, I know since I was a child, but when I look at this stuff and I look at, cards like this and where they came from, how she's the last card, how I ended up being off, not being able to broadcast for exact amount of days after I said I would do 45 days straight. I said I'd do 45 days straight. And some people would really push through sickness, illness, and just keep striving because I said, right? It's like, no, I promised I would do it. I promised. So then you keep trying to push through. I knew I was not well. I knew I needed to take time off. I trusted it. And by trusting that, all of these cards ended up coming out on the divine day, the day they were meant to come out, that aligned with something else that was, in that divine energy of matrix of magic and miracles. So as we start to move forward, right, your guide sends you videos. They will. It's like all the time. There's so much that happens. And so, advertised by members. Yes. Also blue. What does that mean, friends? Blue. Also blue. What is blue? And so, and welcome everybody who's joined in. Sorry I haven't been commenting on each and every one of you. I'm just, I have a short time today, but I wanted to come in and I wanted to give a few cards. Now, we're not going in order today. We are using the cards. And as of last night, the cards got another change. Now they are official. The cards got changed again last night, and we made another change to the cards. I just love Amelia. She is the artist, and she just, like, her trust, her ability to trust her design and trust her intuition is so good for such an amazing. And here's our first card of the morning or the afternoon. Comes flying out. So as I talk about Amelia and trusting, Amelia really didn't know a whole lot about the Mother Mary stories when she started creating this. And this is our card of the day again. Yes. Oh, yes. The last card's also blue. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. And purple. Right. And so let's see here if I can bring up. I'm going to see if I can bring up the cards as we go, because I want to show you the new design. Not there. Desktop. Final editions. Let me see, guys. Give me a second. We know she's the very last card. So now the cards have an edge on them. So now this is not the new cards. So anyway, I'll tell you about this. So the cards now have a rounded look right here. So now we've softened the shape. So now the shape of the cards are softened. So now everything is like, it's almost like the cards have taken a life of their own. Well, yesterday when I left here and I said I had to run off and get a massage. Well, when I left here, I got to my massage therapist, Trish, and I was in the room and I'm getting undressed in this big rush because I was like a minute late. And I looked down and she had 3 roses, the exact color as those peachy color roses that are in that card on her desk. And I'm like, see, you just can't make it up. How it all, would I have a blue Vinx? What's a Vinx? And so I'm not sure what that is, friends. And so today's big card again, of course, is the everyday miracle. So Brenda, when you asked for a card the same time this card was popping out, it is the everyday miracle. She is of her own creation. This is the grandmother energy. It's the mother energy. It's the divine feminine energy. It is truly about that which we create. We can continue to tell we can continue to tell the story the way that we want to tell ourselves, that my life will never be good again. I can never have goodness in my life. My life will always be miserable. And we could stop seeing the beauty in the world, and we can stop seeing the good things. Or we can turn it around and we can start to see the beauty that we have. We can start to see the light. We can start to see the energy. We can start to see that life again. And so I too am going through a struggle like many other people. This energy has been kicking my ass, and there's been a lot of oh, thank you, Linda. As I was just saying, we're all struggling. It's like in this air. So we've had some air blowing around. We had some air blowing around the water as we're trying to get into a fire sign. So we have the equinox coming up. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do on the equinox, whether it's going to be my own personal journey or whether I'm going to share something in here. Um, Oh, from your YouTube advertise with your name for the 10,000. Yes, I would have to do that's the thing. I just don't know, it's that advertisement, like, um, I pay a lot of money. Do I have a card named Sierra? No, no. Paid a lot of money in advertising. And so this everyday miracle is telling us, there's still, when we allow ourselves to become instead of trying to force ourselves to become, when we allow ourselves to stop and see the beauty, when we allow ourselves to start to see, right? Yes, yay, yay, Brenda. And so that divine mother, so when we learn to mother ourselves and nurture ourselves and care for ourselves, we start to see that beauty. But yes, we have all this energy, and we're about to go through like this breakthrough of energy. We got the equinox coming. There's a lot of pressure in the air. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And I always say this, I'm like, I always have an issue with pretending everything is okay when it's not. I can't pretend. And I can fluff it up and I can say, yes, we're going to be okay. And it's the truth. There's I see always being at the end of stories. I'm very positive that way. But the truth is that when people are grieving and hurting and running out of money and jobs and those things are real. And if we discount that and we say, oh, well, just pretend it's not happening, then I think we're not doing service to anybody. And I feel like it's a kind of a rude thing to do. I always say, I acknowledge those that need that space held today. And I may be in a good place, and you got to find those blessings. And today somebody else may not be, who cannot find a blessing. And so you may be the blessing in somebody's life to hold, and to be able to hold them up, to be able to hold that space for somebody. Sometimes life is real. Well, not sometimes, life is very real. And those moments are going to happen. So if you've been through an experience and now you find yourself coming up and you find yourself knowing that, I'm still here. So I'm starting to see a good life. Like Brenda just said, she's starting to find that beauty again. When we're getting there, that may be the one thing that is a reminder for somebody else today who is struggling. So that's always my hope, is that if this can give somebody else inspiration to hold on to hope, to see through that invisible, even when everything that they're seeing with their human eyes is saying it's not going to happen, it's impossible, then not lose hope and faith, to hold on to that, because we never know what's behind that next door. We never know what's coming next. We never know what's happening. And it might not be something horrible. It might be it might be the magic and miracles of life. It might be the miracle that you need. It might be the person. It might be just a little animal that walks across the street or gets placed into your arms or into your life. Something is there. And that's what I hold on to. And even though I like to say, I am that realist to that this happens, and when it happens, we need to be there for each other to help each other through. Right, exactly, Lana. Yeah, it's like you just can't. It is real, and it's a tremendous loss and grief. There's, when you're grieving, if we can have somebody to help us hold that space, or to be able to clear out all the rest so that you can deal with that grief, to be able to be present in that grief, to allow yourself to be able to go through the stages of that grief and not feel like you have to rush. It's just like that time limit of when we lose somebody, then they're like, well, you got 4 days off, you got 5 days off, so you got to be back here in 5 days. You don't have, your grieving has a time limit on it, so then you're always trying to push through. If we give people a time to breathe, if we give people time to catch their breath, to even come out of shock, right? It's like that whole initial shock, that because it's like the body shuts down so that you can deal. It numbs so that you can get through those first few weeks, those first few months. And then it starts to awaken. And then there's all the stages, and there's these stages that you have to go through. And so during these times, yes, exactly, Brenda. Your daughter seeing the beauty in life. It's like, and that's the thing, no matter what, see that, you got to see that good in people, right? That's what she is. And so this energy is really truly telling us that, what is happening in the world is real, and what people are going through is real. And we shouldn't be, discounting that as if, let's pretend it's not happening. Let's just pretend we jumped ahead over this, and we won't deal with it. Well, no, we have to deal with it because it's real. And if we don't deal with it now, we're going to feel this, because we're going to come back to this. And I know I lived in Slave Lake during the Slave Lake fire. And for anyone else, for someone in Alberta, you will know where Slave Lake is. But for anyone else, Slave Lake is a northern community here in Alberta, Canada. And we had a forest fire a few years ago, a nice few years ago now. And we lost a lot of my friends and had lost their homes in this fire. Like, it was traumatic. We were all leaving town in blaze of fire on each side of the road, and we all had to get out. My friends at the time that were stuck on their street, and they were watching their friend's house burn, and then their house was burning as they were trying to get their children in the car and get out of the street, and everything is burning down around them. Well, those experiences are, no matter, you can get out and be safe, but that effect of that in that community went on for a long time. It is still there. And then we came back, and then we flooded. So then we had a flood. So we had no one with home. We had all these homes gone. We had all these businesses gone. You didn't know. So you don't know what your tomorrow is. So when we left town, we had no idea what tomorrow would bring. We didn't know what the next day was going to be. We didn't know if we're going to have a town to go back to. My business was there. Everything we had was there. And you just didn't know if you would have anything. And all the rumors would start, and all this gossip would start. And then in would come the media. And then there's all these digs, like almost like you want to instill fear to make people feel afraid so that you can keep that story alive. And it's not about keeping the story alive. It's about being real about what we're facing, speaking it with truth and integrity, and also being able to stand up and say, but we're not giving up hope and faith. There's a lot to do. We'll be there. Well, that town pulled in some amazing counseling and help for the community and those things. It was amazing what happened to try to help, but the after effects were real. And so the landscape changed. Nothing goes back to the way things used to be. And nothing was the same after that fire. Well, that's your life. No matter what, when something happens in your life, you don't go back to the way you were, and you can't return to that. And that's the everyday miracles, is that there's still an opportunity. There's still a chance. We still have a breath. We still can breathe. We still can move. And it's like, we need to be able to just start taking action steps towards something. That means you get the opportunity to start recreating you. So walking towards you, moving towards you, even if it's one step today. And Lana, even if it's one step, towards you, you can start to find like little tiny things that you can start to do for you. It's been 7 months since I lost my daughter, and I'm still not back to work. No, Lana, and don't go back yet. I just don't, it's like, you don't have to rush back. It's your daughter, right? And you're like, so Brenda Gisome, Jesum that's here, she also lost her daughter. And, I have so many people in my lives that have lost their children. It's unbelievable. And you can't rush this process. Your life is forever changed. There's no going back to the way life was. So who can I be? But we're still here. We still have people who love us. We still have a life and so who can I or how can I start to become this new version of me? What can I do for myself today? So that's the big thing, is what can I do for me today? And see, there was a reason why I came in here today, to be here. Um, and so, yes, on top of the grief of everything that you're experiencing, we also have everything else that's happening in the world that compounds that. And so you when you look at a lifetime and then you look at 7 months, right? It's not, and so that life will never be able to be as it was prior, but we don't want you to try to create that world or yourself the way that you used to be. And that's the truth. It's about truly being able to work through who can you become after. And that's where my work in helping people spiritually mature and being able to emotionally mature, those type of things. And what I mean by that is that kind of where we get stuck in our trauma and we stop and we get stuck there, and that's where we get stuck in the grief, is to be able to expand and clear so that we can gain clarity around the grief and where we need to, how we can focus on what's the priority, which is you. And you are the priority right now. And you being able to do that work for you is so important, because getting healthy in all areas will be able to help you through being able to go through that process. And I have a dear friend who said, I knew I had to walk through that fire. And I've always remembered that. It's a fire it's my fire, it's my life, and I have to walk through it. I can't get around it. You can't avoid it. You can't go beyond that. You have to walk through it. And so there's no way, you can't put it out. You can't take it back. It is there and it's your reality. So benevolence is the card that came out for everybody with this. So we have 44 and we have 33. Good, Lana. I'm so thankful. So we have 44 and we have 33. And this is the benevolence. And so when you look at her phony, is that she's not being phony. She's being very real, that she's telling you, she's encouraging the lady behind, that who's now stripped down, vulnerable, real. She's been through her lowest moments. She's standing back up. She's breaking out. And the lady in the front is just saying, you know what? Trust me. Hold on to that faith. Hold on to that. Like, just be what you need to be today for you, and just know that, just keep aspiring through other women, other families, other people who have been where you are, and can, have been the witness of this, and you can observe, that they're here, and that we can use what our beautiful family members on the other side want most of us, is for us to create some sort of heaven on earth, for us to start to be able to live for them, because they're still very much a part of us. And so benevolence is all about that divine kindness. And when you say you're kind to everybody else, but you're cruel to you, you're hard on yourself, you're beating yourself up, when you do that to yourself, then you're not being benevolent in full. You are being in part. So that's where we tell ourselves those half-assed truths, is that if you can be kind to everybody else, why can we not be kind to ourselves? Right? One that I was online. I seen that, right? And yes, so it is, friends. 44, 33, 11. Um, yes, exactly, Brenda. One day at a time. One day at a time. So so I hope those two cards help you a little bit. And so we started with it being a card that was falling into for Brenda, and these cards are for everybody. And then Lana, I hope this really, really serves you today. So I am going to move up. Yes, Felicia, this energy has been crazy, crazy, crazy. So I'm going to give Felicia a card. I just heard give Felicia Anthony a card to go with hers as well. So Felicia, I just pulled this, come flying out, and it's the universal light of love. And this is Lumarian. And if you were on a few days ago, you heard me speak about the beings and all the connections that I have of the world outside of here and what's possible. And that Lumarian is really truly that golden, like there's a lot of golden energy. It's a lot of master. And so it's about learning how to master your life. A whole part of living life is about mastering life, not becoming the master. It's about mastering life is that what do I need to do today to be aware of this energy that's happening within me? Once you start to emotionally and spiritually mature, to be able to learn how to consult with yourself, check in with yourself. Why is this happening? Why am I acting this way? Why do I feel this way? Why am I being hard on myself? When you start doing those type of things, you start to be able to fall more into you. And so that's when you start to strip away all of the excuses, all of the justification, all the explaining. And just let me see if I can get her up here. And I know she's farther down. So the universal light of love, Felicia, and this beautiful card is truly about, she strips it all down, but she's got those, she's got this self-love. She's starting to nurture the divine feminine within. Her hair is here and it blends into the wings. So when you don't, what we don't know is how much love and support that's around us. We are so loved, we are so supported, we are so surrounded in absolute love. We have a guardian on each side of us. The problem is we forget to ask. And so when you learn to check in with you and consult with yourself, is what you're doing is that you're asking your guardians, you're asking your angels, you're asking your loved ones who are with you, what is going on? And if you go silent and quiet, it's amazing what you can hear. Learning to master life, not becoming a master that you know it all, that you're better than. It's about truly being able to just lay it down, let it, like, put that there, right there, put it right there, and just know that there's so much to us. And I always say getting a bath, when I bath or when you shower, like when I always say that's like that's like a baptismal for me. It's like you wash away the day, you wash away your worries, you wash away your stress. And they say, if you take if you I can't remember his name now, but if you stand in the shower like ice cold water, or go like get into ice cold water, that you actually learn how to breathe properly, is that it's the most healthiest healing thing that you can do for your water, for your body. So when I get a hot shower, then I turn the water to cold, and it's like it shocks the system, shocks the body, but it gets that breath going deeper down, and the longer that you can last in that water, the more healthier it is for the body. So sometimes I sit in the bathroom. I sit in the bathroom sometimes with the shower running just to relax. Yes, right? Just to turn on that water. So what that's connection to the flow. And so when you need to kind of shock the body, relax the body, change your thought process, sometimes the best place to go is to the water, and to sit in the water, by the water, anywhere where you can connect to that flow, because you are made up of water, right? There's a body of water inside of you. So you're really truly connecting to energy. Water produces energy, right? And so water is really tied to that energy. Yes, and opens the pores so they can breathe. It's used for, like, taking your breath. It's kind of like a kundalini. It's an awakening. So it's like a kundalini breath, and it takes your breath all the way down so that your body breathes deep down, and it opens your pores and be able to get that breath in. Hello from Sri Lanka. Oh, thank you. All right. I don't know that yet. I just only got a couple more minutes left for today. Just pulling a few cards. So I want to get back up here though. I want to know, Stacy R. Stacy R. Are you still here, Stacy? Hi, Meadow. And hi, everyone else who's joining in. I'm looking for Stacy R. Trying to see if Stacy's still here. Not today, Meadow. Not today. I don't have much time left today. I'll be back again tomorrow, though. Um, Stacy R. 12:44. Look at that on my time. So, Stacy, um, I have Thekla for you. I'm trying to find her. She's way up in the top. So she is in the maiden energy. But please stay. Please stay because these messages resonate with everyone, Meadow. So when we first started, this was our card, right? This is for everybody, the everyday miracle. She is, he is, whichever you are. They're under she because I'm a girl. They're written from my story. And so um hide that one back down. And Stacy, this is your card. So this is the unseen wound. This is Thekla. She's in the maiden. She's in that beginning stages of when she starts to really realize how important it is to start to put her focus on what she has internalized, what she has truly, what's inside of us that keeps us being triggered to respond in an unhealthy way to certain things in life. That's one of the ways we look at her. Her other thing that she really got is that she really got it, that she has physical wounds, she has her scars, she knows the journey, she knows where she has been or he has been, whatever you want to change it to. She recognizes that it is a lot of the things that are the unseen wounds that we don't even realize, a lot of our scars, a lot of our attitudes comes from what previously, was conditioned or what had happened in childhood, that on that unfulfilled prophecy of childhood, of what my childhood should have been like, what life should have been like, how parents should have been, my family should have been there, people should have been there, husband should have been there, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it is, whoever it is for you. And it's like those people should have done this, they should have done that. And we lay that out and we put such a double-edged sword. Like the tongue can be so sharp, right? And it's like they were never there for me and people were never there for me. So every time that we are repeating those stories, the person, when we say them out loud, that we are speaking to is ourselves. Is we recognize the times that we have sold ourselves and we went against our highest good, we went against our gut, and we just said, you know what, maybe they deserve that second chance, maybe I am the problem, maybe I did do this, maybe I did. And so every time that you made that excuse or that you justified the behavior of somebody else, is that then would trigger the unseen wound. It would trigger that response of a previous time in your life where you may have been told, it's all your fault, you did this, da da da. And so it's a never ending story. So there's some sort of never ending story that's twisting around here, Stacy, that you're being told to just, it's time to like really look deep into the eyes of who you were at that time, at that stage, and to release her, to let that part of you go. And 8, of course, would be the infinity. And so this infinite love that surrounds us really is telling you to, it's like, you've now put the swords down. You're not at war with yourself. You're not battling with yourself. You've quit that. But now you have to wrap it in like love. It is the thing that sometimes we forget in the beginning of the healing journey because we really jump into wanting to fix everybody else, do it for everyone else, and that we miss this part of the healing journey. I'm missing a nail. I got to go get these done sometime today. And so we miss that part of the journey of the original step, the first step we should have done on this journey of becoming us was I should have learned about love. I should have known, that the first person that I had to fall back in love with was myself. And that meant that I would have to forgive myself for all of the previous things that I kept saying, oh yeah, that's my fault, I did this, or what I kept allowing, the people you kept letting back into your life, the things you keep doing when you know it don't serve you, all of those things. So now we're wrapping it in love. So you're wrapping those moments, those experiences in love. And we're allowing, taking the weight off the shoulders to let your body be more weightless. So less burdened down weight so that your body can finish out some of the healing that it needs to do of previous times. And that's what you're being told. It is very much, it's very strong around you right now that you have some old some old energy and coming into the spring equinox, we want you to start springing ahead to the future self, like still being present now, but starting to see the future in a different way, starting to see a healthy future instead of seeing things from the past coming into the future, right? And so from where you are right now, that healing that can be done. So welcome everyone else who's joining. And so now I'm just going to give, I hope that resonates with you, Stacy, and it helps you somehow. And now I'm just going to give, I do have to take a couple of these cards down. Okay, so I'm just going to give one last card to validate all of this for us before I have to leave. Thank you, Marie. And it's the divine feminine, the sisterhood. And one thing about sisterhood is we also have brothers. So brothers and sisters together in brother and sisterhood, right? And so it was in the creation. Let me find her. She is number 22. Look at all these magic numbers we got today. Wow. And I was kind of cranky and I didn't want to come in. It's going to be honest. You're welcome, Stacey. I'm glad it resonates with you. I was a little bit on the cranky side. I was a little bit having a little bit of a moment this morning. My daughter was here last night. We went out for her birthday supper, her and her husband, and my little Sadie, my little granddaughter. And then I just felt like after they left, it's like I went into this overwhelming doom and gloom came over me. I'm like, what the? And I had to sit with myself and have a little consult. And then I had to get up and I had to go do some work and had to pull my shit together, basically. And so this divine sisterhood is that we'll always have, so those things that are the trigger, they're not going to go away. It's like we have that within yourself. It's not that that always goes away, but once you know you and once you start to accept the things that are happening within you and when they're happening, is that when you get a trigger, it's not for you to go crazy on yourself and lose your shit. It's a warning sign. And as I was talking about in one of the classes that I was preparing for my level 4s yesterday, I'm like, that is like the warning sign that you get. So when you're running out of gas, so in a car, when something is going wrong with the engine, when the fuel is getting low, you get that little light. If you're not paying attention and you're not doing all the maintenance and you're not caring for that vehicle, you'll get warning signs. You'll run out of gas. Like if you don't fill it up before the time that you wait for it to get empty, you go, 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 go until it runs out of gas. So you get that warning, beep, 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 right? Beep, beep, beep. That's the beep. That's telling you got so many kilometers left to go. And that's as far as you can go. You can't get any, you will run out of gas. So you have an opportunity. You can try to push that and keep going and be worried about the whole trip, the rest of the way, just fearful you're not going to make it, or you could stop. Once you get the trigger, you could stop. You can find the place, you can stop. You can pause. And that's what the trigger is for. That's what that notification is for, that your body is feeling, hey, this is what's happening. You can't expect the whole world to change for you to be able to be comfortable in it. You can't expect everybody to become more suited to you. You got to be able to exist in this world knowing that you can't change the world, that you can find your peace. And so once you got it and you stop, you pause, what can you do? Like, what can I do to prevent this from happening further? I can stop, I can fuel up. Well, what am I going to fuel up on? You can fuel up on taking 10 minutes to go for a walk. You can take a breather. You can reach out for help. You can support each other. You can have a group, a support group. And I always say, if you build a support group, don't make it a complaining group. Because there's nothing any worse than when you get into a group and all everybody does is complain. It's how can we inspire each other today? We can say, listen, this is where I was, but this was my win. This is what I found. I found myself doing this. Hey, you know what? Remember that tool we learned? We could go back to that. Remember this thing that we did? We could do that. And so you can become a group of inspiration. I remember after I had my gastric surgery, everybody was like, or my sleeve surgery, everyone was like, oh my God, you need to join this support group. I was like 3 days and I was so sick. of listening to everybody complain that I'm like, how's this healthy for anybody? How's this kind of energy healthy? You already are out of gas. You're not well. You just came through surgery. You just made life changing choices. Where's the inspiration? And then someone say, well, I'm going in for the surgery. Can someone tell me like all the downs? And then everybody would tell them all the negatives. How about you tell the positives, right? And so that's human nature, is to want to be on that side of it instead of wanting to, hello, everyone else who's joined in, instead of, wanting to be inspired. It's like we don't want to be influenced by the healthy, so once, or by the unhealthy. So once you get the trigger, once you get the gas light coming on, or the engine light coming on, you want to stop and deal with that right away. You want to face it right now. That means that you actually are having compassion for yourself. You're starting to know yourself. You're starting to recognize that's an old story. That's an old feeling. That came from a different time in my life. I'm not in that old experience. I'm in this experience. The shadow parts will always be there. The darkness will always be there. We'll always have those things that are happening within us. It is what we keep allowing. So when we can set ourselves free and we can recognize that, you know what, inside that glass, that fish, when you place yourself in this, safe zone so that you're never triggered, I never have to deal with nothing. I can pretend life is beautiful and wonderful and don't have to deal with nothing. I can put myself in this little tiny, and I can think I'm big. And then I'm all healthy, I'm all good, I'm all fine. Well, because you made yourself safe so you don't have to deal with nothing. But the real world is not like that. And if you even hide in there, that glass is a false sense of safety, because glass is breakable. Every one of us will be broken. Every one of us will have stuff that'll flood into our lives. If we know us, we will know what is coming, if it's a trigger, if it's an old story, or if there's something new that I have to face and deal with. And then you realize how little we really are, how small we are. In the big landscape, in the big picture, we're such a small, minute little thing, but we are also a very big part of the system. Because us knowing who we are and becoming healthier, we will have a lot less need to influence people to keep comforting our fears and insecurities, to keep nurturing that, to keep providing for us this imposter light energy, this false sense of safety. But we will know that we have each other's backs. And that's how we begin to change the world, right? That's how change, this is how transformation happens. And so from one flowing into the other, we're not trying to keep filling our cup with all of one thing without emptying out the other. And so we have a lot to give, and we have a lot to support each other with. And if we can hold ourselves strong, and we can become embodied in that light within, and not allow our shadow to be what's ruling our lives, that persona identity, those roles that we play, and that's how we identify. If that's not running our lives and ruling our lives, and our truth is so much more powerful. Our truth has so much more strength, and we can hold each other up. A healed, healthy human is a person who walks the middle road, is there to listen to all sides, to understand everybody's going to have a different view, a different thought, but that we don't have to squish the world. We don't have to drown people out, and we don't have to hide ourselves, but we can be small and still be big in light, big in love, big in energy. But we don't have to try to conquer the world. Not today. And that we always have love, we always have support, and finding inspiration is what truly changes our lives. So, yes, you did the math. So 44, 43, 33, 8 equals 228. So the next card could be 22 or 8 or 30. That's so cool. And we had the right, and it's 22. So cool. So much beauty, so much magic. And this is part of the whole infinite system of love today. That 2-2 also returns to 4. Our very first card out was, I'll put it back up before I leave here. I got 1 minute, 2 minutes. So we started with the everyday miracle. She is 44, and we are ending with sisterhood. So we are half the strength. We are half the strength within ourselves. We are half the light as what the divine mother is, right? We are a part of her. We're a part of that light out there. But together, big group of us together, we triple that. So a whole bunch of healthy, beautiful, embodied light women, men, sisters, brothers that come together and embodying light and love, faith and hope can truly be as beautiful, as wonderful, and have unconditional love the same way that light out there, because we are here to create that heaven on earth and round corners. Exactly. And now the cards have round corners. So much love to everybody. Thank you for being here with me today. I will be back again tomorrow. And that Women in Bloom event is happening this weekend. It's Women in Bloom Edmonton. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite. I'm speaking Sunday morning at 10:45, but it starts today. All the vendors are in there today. It starts today. It goes on all weekend. It's online. It's not in Edmonton. It's online this year. And it's an amazing group of lineup of speakers. If you go to Women in Bloom Edmonton or go to Eventbrite and punch it in there, all of it's on my Facebook page there. And you can purchase a ticket and spend all weekend in workshops and listening to speakers. And 10:45 Mountain Standard Time, I will be speaking. I'm only a small part, but I'm just happy to be a part of it. So it's all happening this weekend. Good place to spend your weekend. So much love to everybody. And if you want to take in some of the other stuff that I have, go to Corrie School of Magic. There's lots of workshops, meditations, and I have a couple new programs coming out. So much, much love. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.